Welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope everybody is having a wonderful, wonderful Sunday. I woke up with all kinds of new energy this morning. It's like more energized than I have been in a while. Justin was like, "What is going on with you?" This is very fun. The energy is just like sizzly. Yeah. What are you doing? You're awake. Awesome. Well, I would love to know how everybody else is doing this morning. How's everybody feeling after the last 2 days? Anybody have any new ahas? Anything else happened in their world they would love to share while we wait for everybody to join the Zoom room and on Facebook? Today is going to be fun. There's going to still be some bomb drops, I'm sure, but there's some really fun light energy today. I'm very excited. Okay. Hi, Deb's on Facebook. Bunch of y'all around the Zoom room. Perfect. All right. So let's go ahead and just get started. So excited. Today is just bubbly, bursty energy. And I am just I don't even have English for how I'm feeling today, but it's good. It's good. It's very sparkly, very bubbly. There we go. Now more people are on Facebook. Hello, everybody. Okay. So the topic of the conversation today is the love connection, the energy of love, and love in all forms, right? Love to self, love to others, love with the universe, all of it. Love in all forms. Because the fun thing about this is it's all intermingled, right? Everything we've been talking about is layered on each other. It's another dimension of the same concept, but we have to look at it in all these different ways to pick up all of the pieces. And the love connection is just as relevant as the money connection, because if you remember, the frequency of money is the same frequency as love. And so just as we pay with dollars to things for our children to show them love, the universe does the same. Sari, you're not getting sound. I definitely pretty sure my sound is working. Is everybody else able to hear me? Just double check. Okay. Okay, good. Just want to make sure. So just as we pay for food, shelter, toys, all the things for our children to show them love and affection, then the same is true with the universe. And so how does that work when so many people are not in that place, right? But the key is, do we actually believe 100% in our bodies, in our core, deep within us, not what we think we should believe, what we know conceptually to be true, but what we think we should believe? Do we truly believe that we are 100% worthy of receiving love? Do we really believe that? Do we really believe that if somebody said, do you feel worthy of receiving, if somebody gave you $50,000, $100,000 today, just showed up in your bank account for no reason at all, because they loved you and they wanted to, what would your reaction be? How would you respond to something like that? Would you have this immediate fear response, like, what's the catch? Or would you go, wow, thank you, universe. Thank you for showing me love in this way. Most people would go, I don't believe this, that something is wrong. I'm going to be in trouble. They're going to show up at my door. I'm going to get arrested, all of these. So there's so many beliefs going on about that's just not possible, because it's never happened to me. So therefore it's not possible. But it has happened to some people. There's definitely stories out there where people have been showered with love in some form. There's people who have been struggling and they've had this vision their whole lives, and all of a sudden something flips and it's like, oh, the door's open, and all of a sudden they receive love in a new way. So, and then the other question here is, what if somebody just messaged you and said, wow, I really love what you're doing. I want to work with you. How can I pay you? I have to pay you for something. I don't even know what your offers are, but I have to pay you. And maybe you don't even have a business and somebody just wants to work with you. Would that excite you or would that terrify you? When would your allowance be okay for one thing and not the other? And why? Why do we have these beliefs about what's acceptable and what's not? Is there beliefs that money is limited? I know that's a common one. As helpers and healers, we're like, well, somebody else needs it more, right? We don't need it. We have enough. Somebody else needs it more. But that implies that there's a limited amount of dollars, there's a limited amount of love, when truly they're printing money constantly and love is absolutely unlimited. And so if we look at this differently, and we look at the bigger my heart gets and the more I'm open to receiving, the more impact I can have. And perhaps that means the more dollars that can flow to me one way or another. And maybe they go in all kinds of crazy ways. But we have to be opening ourselves up to receive it, because sometimes people think maybe I don't deserve it. I haven't done anything. If we believe we have to work or have it or trade for love, for money, then we haven't deserved it. We haven't earned it. But really, does a child need to do anything to deserve love, to deserve affection, to deserve being taken care of? Or do they deserve that because they are existing? And so we have to start shifting and looking at ourselves like that. We deserve it. We are embodiments of this beautiful universal energy. So of course we deserve it just by being us, just by simply being who we are. We deserve love, money, and to be taken care of. Because I truly don't believe we need to do anything other than be who we are and share ourselves with others and the world to receive love. I really don't. So let's break this down another way. Where in your life have you not been safe to receive love? Where has connection been abused or betrayed? Perhaps parents, friends, teachers, mentors, lovers, coworkers. There's so many things, right? So many things. And where in your life has that not actually been safe? Because this is where we have to look when we struggle to receive love. Amanda says she had someone gift you a chunk of change out of nowhere in the beginning of the year, and you never understood why. 6 months later, they asked for it back. Well, I was taken aback by it, but paid them off that week because there was something I wasn't seeing energetically, but I knew it was important to play out. And now you know why. Exactly. And so the key here is we need to look at where we have been betrayed before. Okay, so Sari's saying everywhere you've been betrayed before. So it's pretty hard to go, I'm worthy of receiving safe connection when I've never experienced it ever, right? So what I want to do is I want to walk you guys through some of this and actually do some releasing, because there's a lot. And if you are willing to go ahead and bring up, you don't have to do everybody, but anybody who comes in your mind right now that is loud, that has betrayed or hurt you or harmed you in some way, we're going to walk through releasing this. We're going to let them go. We're going to let go of the story that they have installed in us, that because of what happened, clearly we weren't worthy. Because somewhere deep in our systems, we believe that. Well, if this person didn't love me safely, then I'm not worthy of it. Okay, so in your mind, I want you to bring that person forward. Just allow yourself to see them in your mind and look at them deep within their soul. You don't have to do this right in this moment. I'm just going to walk everybody through it if they want to take the codes, Christy. But I think it's important to actually know how to do this, because a lot of you know how to do this, but a lot of you don't know how to do this. And so I want to walk you through how I would do it once I recognize that somebody has harmed me. And that's why I was holding on to this story. Because if we can let this go now, we can start to become a new invitation to receive new things. Okay. And so when we bring this person into our minds and we see them for who they are, we need to say that I see who they are, which is the thing here. They have their own wounding. They have their own stories. They have their own places that they have been harmed and betrayed. And they're acting from that wounded place. Every single person who harmed you in some fashion was harmed themselves. And that doesn't excuse it. That doesn't make it okay. But we can see it. We can see it, and we can hold space for their journey And at the same time, we can hold the boundary that we don't accept these wounded people into our lives anymore. But when we look at them and we see they were operating from this deeply wounded space, we can release them from wounding us because we understand. We understand that they are so broken themselves. That's why they acted this way. And so we can forgive them. We can allow ourselves to release this story. We can see the story that they are holding and we can say, I love you and I forgive you and I release you from my body. I release this story from my system. And you can allow every story and piece and key and the actual cord between the two of you to unravel and release. And then you also need to go and you need to recognize that those wounded people who have harmed us, we weren't always awesome to them either. In some form or another, we had reactions. We had our own wounding that we brought to the table. And so we need to also ask for forgiveness. And we need to recognize that we may need to accept forgiveness back. And we need to allow ourselves to release that from their bodies. And we need to take ourselves back from them. We don't need to hold on to those stories anymore. So just take a deep breath and allow your body to release that and process that and let it go. Sometimes people actually visually imagine the cord coming out of their body and just raveling back into the ethers and let it go. Good. Good. And the next person we actually have to forgive is the version of self that allowed these people into our lives, that allowed these betrayals to play out. Because on some level you knew, on some level you knew and you didn't want to see it. On some level you believed some part of you that you just, no. And so we need to look at the version of self that was that person. Was that person that accepted that reality, that said, this is all I'm worth. That person that didn't think you were worth more, I want you to bring that person up into your awareness. And I want you to love them, embrace them, see the wounding they were holding, see that they were playing out the same things they had seen before, and they allowed this stuff to play out in their lives, in their hearts, and it fucking sucked sometimes. But we also gain so much beauty and understanding for this, and we can love the person that we used to be, forgive the person that allowed those betrayals, and let that go. Allow ourselves to love all of who we were at that time. Forgive yourself. Embrace yourself. And in your mind, as you do so, you can absorb that version of yourself back into you to accept all of who you are, including the version of you that allowed this in the first place, because that version of you knows now what the value was and who you are now with the new boundaries, new awarenesses, and new love for yourself that you have today. Good. I have so much gratitude for the people in my life who have in some way harmed me now. I have learned so much from all of these experiences, from mentors, teachers, that I learned how I didn't want to operate my business. I didn't like how things worked. And I learned so much from them about how I don't want to be. I learned from my ex-husband that I'm worthy of safety, of love, of compassion, of companionship. I learned from my own father that wounded people aren't safe people, and wounded people don't know how to love me. I learned so much along this journey that I am grateful for. You're welcome, Amanda. You're welcome. She's saying in Facebook that this container is so different from what I'm used to. It's so warm and safe. You're very, very welcome. It's so important to me to show up in the way that I would have needed myself. And that's my goal. So the biggest lesson that I learned along the way is that trusting me first, is the biggest key to anything else that I want to do. But in order to trust myself, I had to love myself. I had to love all parts of me. I had to believe that I truly can do anything, because we say that, our minds say that. We have this, yeah, I'm powerful. but do we truly believe it here? Do we really, really feel it in our hearts? And I also can love the fact that I created a life full of lessons so that I would be damn sure to never forget that I needed to trust myself first. Because as a child, I was very, very loud and I knew everything and all of that. But life taught me that I had to hold that. I had to hold me first, actually, through everything. And so safety, as we talked about, has to come from that place inside of self, that connection to yourself, loving yourself first. Everything starts with that. And so the next thing I want to walk you guys through is this safety piece, because once we find that safety within ourselves, we can then do something really beautiful. And this is where it gets exciting. And so if you want to take a deep breath and get recentered in yourself, and I want you to bring your awareness to your heart space, to the heart space in your body, and just bring your mind there. And there's a piece of you, there's a piece of light there that's you. It might be small, big, doesn't matter. It might have a color, flickers, it might be moving. But I want you to bring your awareness to that heart space energy that is you. And we're going to expand it out. I'm just going to breathe it in and expand it. We're going to expand it through our chest, shoulders, arms and legs, head. We're going to completely expand this heart space energy within our bodies. And as you do this, I want you to notice that in the very center of this, there's an opening. There's a portal, a doorway, something. It's shimmering, slightly different in shape and texture. Inside this place is the deepest part of you, your safety, your home, yourself. And I want you to go through this doorway. Yes, the keyhole. I want you to go through. I want you to unlock it. I don't want you to step through. You might have a stairway. You might literally have a free fall. I need you to trust yourself here as you step through and know what's on the other side of this will feel like home. When I step through, I almost see like a wormhole shape with colors and flashes, and I just fall into this beautiful space. And when you land, wherever that is, everybody's going to have something different here. Everybody's safe space looks and feels more like them. And so it will manifest however it does in your mind. You might see nature or ocean. You might see a room decorated with all your favorite things and colors. Whatever it is, this is your visual representation of home, of yourself. This is safety. This is love. And sitting in this space, I want you to take in all of the energy and all of the feeling and all of the peace and everything that perhaps maybe you've never even felt before. Maybe even your place is in the stars. Who knows? Whatever that place is for you, I want you to really hold on to it and feel it. Because from this place of peace and love and connection, this is where we actually can make some really, really fun creations. Because from this place is where we can start to allow connection in a new way. We can actually start to have love with others in a very safe, supported way that many of us never knew in most of our growing up. I know I certainly didn't. And so what I want you to imagine is just a few threads coming up. If you were to ask your awareness in this visual to show you some doorways, some strings, some people that are new, safe connections for you, that can meet you where you are right now, and that can see and hold you on an energy level, and an emotional level, and a mental and potentially even physical level. I want you to feel those connections right now in this place. I want you to feel the possibility that has been held within them. because connection is the very next leap that I made. New connection, safe connection. And really, that's when things got exciting. So I want you all to feel what that might feel like in your own bodies, in your own beings. And maybe you have people, bases, maybe not. It doesn't matter. Trust that you're inviting them in by feeling this place, and you're opening the doorway for them to find you. Good. This is a place that you can come to anytime. You can operate from this place of safety within yourself at any moment. And it's so important that we have this, that we have the ability to get to this place when we are feeling anxious, when we're feeling stressed, when we don't know what's ways up and down and which sideways and all the things. We've got to have a place to come back to that is ourself. And there's no need to come back through the portal and back into your heart, because this place is deep within you already. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and bring your awareness back to the present moment and back to your bodies. And know that this place stays within you always. This place is where we can trust ourselves from, because this is ourself. When I first opened up to this type of connection, it was early 2021. I had just not quite a year of being full-time single parent in the pandemic. And I was taking all the classes and learning all the things. And I found a couple of friends that I didn't even know, I never had met in real life. And I found a couple of friends. I'm pretty sure one of them is even here today. And we started connecting almost daily, very regularly. And all of these really fun things started to happen the moment we were connecting in a safe, loving way. Even though we'd never met, didn't know each other that well, our souls knew each other. And all of our psychic abilities started to turn on. Light language turned on. All of these new awarenesses of how the universe worked turned on. All of these new data and frequencies was just pouring down every time we connected. It was like this magnet that was happening as we connected. We had access to more than any of us did individually. And so it was this amplification thing going on. And it was amazing. And what it sparked in me is I want more of this. And I don't want this just on the Zooms. I want this in person. I want real connection in person. And so it shifted this, I'm going to be safe, yes, but isolated and alone, because I thought that's all I could get. I actually believed that it was the best I could have. I was thrilled to have succeeded. And so when I started connecting and I went, wait, there's more. There's more that can be had. And I wanted it in person. And so what I started chasing at that point was connection, community, and support. That was the thing I needed next. Now that I was safe and I was working on unraveling all of that, I needed connection, and I didn't want to. I could do it alone. I learned that. Damn it, I am fiercely independent, but I didn't want to. And so I met another friend over Zoom, and the craziest thing happened. She recognized me from her dreams. I don't know if you've ever experienced something like that before, but the moment you connect on Zoom and they're like, oh my God, you have been in my dreams since I was a child. Like that type of soul connection. And I was able to remove a pain in her body that had been there almost her whole life. And I still didn't even really know what I was doing yet. And it was just this crazy experience because I started to all of a sudden be open to these new soul safe connections. And everything was changing really, really, really fast. And so I just kept going. And I said, okay, I need more of this. And I needed to move, and I needed to physically move because I needed to find it. And I thought I had to chase my tribe. I had to go find where they were. And so I moved towards the friend. I thought I was going to move towards the friends that I had made, but it didn't work out quite that way yet. And then I met my now husband, purely synchronistic. It was a crazy, crazy story. we were going to a workshop together and they had forgotten about me, completely forgotten about me. I didn't have a room. I didn't have a place to stay, except, the one man who didn't have a roommate. That was the last possible place to stay. And when Justin and I connected for the first time, I felt held by a man in a way that I had never felt before. I didn't even know it was possible to be energetically held in an intimate setting. I didn't even know that was a thing. I literally had no idea that there was that type of connection available to me. I thought the best that I could have hoped for was somebody to be nice to me and my kids. That's it. That's what I thought was best. But I got to be surprised. I got to be surprised. I got to be surprised that there was more to connection. There was more. And it was like, oh my God, this is the point. Holy crap, this is the point. This is why all of this is happening. And so I got to change directions again. And we got to shift where we were moving. And we got to make this beautiful house. And then my friends, my good friends, another one said, I want to, she needed to move where she was. So she decided to come and move to me. And so I had two people. It wasn't just that I moved towards my tribe. I had my tribe move towards me. Both things got to happen. And so all of a sudden, I have 3 adults to my 3 children. I'm not a full-time single mom anymore. I'm remarried and I have all of this support and love and connection. Just like that. All I did was set that intention. All I did was set that intention that I will not stop until I find that. Because I knew what was potentially on the other side. And so not only did my intuition explode, I met my husband, I got remarried, and I have this beautiful community. And so it's amazing and beautiful. And truly, everybody is capable of creating this for themselves. They really, really are. But I had to actually shift enough to love me in order to do it. I had to love all of the parts of me that had been cast away before, all of my quirks, all of my silliness. I'm very silly and playful, but that was never like acceptable before. I wasn't allowed to be that. That version of me only used to come out if I was intoxicated. But I get to be all of me now, all of me that's too much in every single relationship I had been before. The total hopeless romantic that actually wants to cuddle all day. That was, no, we have to give you space. All of that. I got to just be me. I got to say my piece and live my heart and be loved for it. But I had to love it first, right? I had to love me and be willing to look at all of these parts of me that I didn't think was acceptable, wasn't liked, it was discarded. All of the parts of me that were too much, or all of the parts that were not enough, I had to look at them. And I had to say, all right, I'm going to be all of me. This is, you get everything you get. Because the right people, I'm not too much for. The right people are excited by my silliness and my quirkiness and the fact that I can't help but put my hands on bodies when things happen. I can't help but track energy and go into the cosmos. I can't help it. That's who I am. And I don't have to shut it off in any fashion anymore. And the right people will love me for it. And so that's the key I want you guys to have here. We have to love ourselves. Before anybody else can love us, we have to see all of those levels and layers of self. We have to love all of those levels and layers of self in order for others to do so. For others to see us, we have to be willing to see ourselves. An interesting thing was happening over the last year as I was working with so many different people. There was an element where some people couldn't see me. They couldn't access my field. They couldn't work with me. And what I realized is that there are so few people out there who see themselves, who can look at themselves, who feel safe with themselves, that my body was like, no, you're not that person for me. You're not my healer. Because for me, I need somebody who is as safe and open and seen as I am to myself. And those are the people I attract for me. But I can also be that safe, loving, held space for others. And so once we get to that point where we love ourselves enough, where we allow others to love us for all of that, that's when the magic starts to really unfold. It really is. We've talked about safety in our bodies and our money stories, but that element of safety is what leads to the opening for connection, the opening to possibility. And from there, that's when we actually can open to more. That's when we start to see more of who we are, more of who we can be. And so that's truthfully why the people in my life and the people who physically move in with me experience a shift in their money stories so much, is because I provide that level of safety. I provide that level of safety and security and connection that they had never had, right? They have likely never experienced that level of safety and connection before. And I allow myself to love them unconditionally. I don't have requirements of how many dollars you have to pay me. It's simply that they are true to themselves. That's all I ask. Karenza is saying, that's so beautiful. I haven't been able to believe in those possibilities. There are definitely parts of myself I hide that have never been acceptable. Yeah, I feel you. I did too. I mean, a lot of it seeped out. I was not very good at boxes. I tried really hard to keep myself in the box that was acceptable, but it seeped out, and I always was either made fun of. I was either told it was not okay. Before I met Justin, I was dating a man who was safe physically. He was safe physically, he was safe mentally, but he was not emotionally safe. He would not speak about emotions or what he wanted unless he has like 4 or 5 drinks. That was the only way he would talk to me about his feelings. And he really wanted nothing to do with my children, but he was, the safest man I had ever experienced before. But I had to recognize that I needed to love myself enough to believe that I needed more than that. I had to let that go in order to be an invitation for an entirely safe man on all spectrums. I had to open myself up to somebody who was willing to look at themselves in order to see me. And so I trust when I do that, when I show others love in that way, in that unconditional way, that it actually comes back to me tenfold. I don't know how it's going to come back to me. It doesn't matter, because it comes back to me in all of these various ways with support and love and connection to the universe, right? And so I'm essentially like channeling the universe's love when I'm doing that, when I show people love in that form and I invite them to be their full selves. And so you don't actually have to move into a house to experience that, but you do have to trust that it's going to be there. And you have to allow yourself to be worthy of receiving it, worthy of receiving safe, physical, mental, emotional connection with somebody else. Safe to show your full heart to another person and be loved for it. Safe to be all of you, all of the quirky, silly, weird, unconventional ways that you are. Being safe to be those things, to wake up in the morning totally silly, playful, all of the things, go and just think it's the cutest thing ever, right? To have that person is amazing. And to then have more support than I ever could have imagined. I believe everybody deserves this and more. We're not done yet. I'm not done yet. I want to burst with how excited this all makes me, because I know that the bigger this can be, the more people that get to experience this type of feeling, the more people who will get to access more of themselves, because this is where it gets really fun. And this is the things that I've been working on probably the last few months, is what happens once we have these connections? All of these things start to turn on. Well, what do we do with it? This is where we step into this new abundance place. This is where we step into the level of us that is operating from a place that is so deep, trusted in self, that has so much love for self, so much knowing that we've got our backs, we know who we are, that we can operate from a place that brings forward information and data that this world, this physical earth has never seen before. Because I'm done personally with the revolutions where we have to repeat all of the same patterns over and over again, and that the collective has to learn the same lessons over and over again. That's not the worlds I'm creating for myself. I want to bring forward new data, new possibilities, new opportunities. And the only way to do that is to operate from another level of self, to operate from the level of self that knows you can access this. This is the level of self that, to me, is that core essence. That you can call it your alien self, you can call it your soul self, spirit, whatever you want, but that level of self that is so deeply trusted, so deeply loved inside of you, that you have access to the future, you have access to possibility, you have access to so much. To me, this is where we operate from our own brilliance. This is where we operate from possibility, potential, and all of it. And so when I'm looking at how I want to operate my business, for instance, I see how everybody else does it. And I go, okay, what parts feel good to me? And what new ideas do I have? How do I want to do this differently? I personally cannot stand the niche box that everybody wants to put everybody in. This is how you have to serve this kind of people in this way and all of that. No, I'm me. I'm all of me. And anybody who resonates with me is my person. That's what's true for me. When I look at how I bring forward offers, there's this belief that you can't give too much away. You can't give too much away because then nobody will pay for it. Well, I trust that the right people will come and the abundance will show up in some fashion. I don't know what it is. I want to walk people through big shifts and I want them to go, wow, this is what she gives away for free. I want to work with her more. I want to invest my time and energy to do so. That to me is operating from another level and from another place, from a deep trust in self that I've got my own back and I can bring forward possibility in a totally new way. Because the extra fun piece here, this is another level of connection, is that once you deepen these connections and you have this, you've actually built like a network. You built a network of humans, this web of humans. And so anytime there is things, and anytime you do go back into scarcity, because it does happen, and we have to go back to the beginning when we do, and we have to realize that we're safe, and we have to unravel all of it every time. And it happens so much faster, but you get to do that in a safe, connected way that you didn't have before. And if something happens and you need an actual action and you need to go do something, you have more people who can help you because everybody knows somebody. Everybody knows somebody and everybody has what they would do. And I think there's like less than 6 degrees of separation between everybody in the world. And so once enough of us are allowing ourselves to connect on a deeper, safer way, we can literally access everybody's data and bring forward all of this possibility and help each other out when we need it. Because we're here, we're connected, and we're safe, and everybody wants that. And everybody wants that deep connection. And so those deeply connected humans, that deeply connected set of beings, to me, is literally the most powerful thing in the universe. To have a set of consciousness that was connected as a network to bring forward data and to bring forward possibility is, to me, like we could literally do anything. We could change anything. We could become anything. We could do anything. We get to go multidimensional with this. The vastness of the universe literally becomes available simply by experiencing safe love and connection with other multidimensional souls. We activate all of that within us. We access so much more. And so we get to create this beauty and this magic that this world has never, ever seen before. And to me, that is the most beautiful thing. And the whole flipping point of this experience, the whole point of this earthly experience is to learn these lessons, to love ourselves all the way through them, to love ourselves as we fall down and pick ourselves back up, to trust ourselves to get through every step of the way, and to find others that we get to be connected with so that together we change the world. That's the point, at least to me. And so I want to pause here. I've been talking for a while and I want to check in. How is everybody feeling? How is this sitting? Is everybody feeling the same buzzy as I am? Because I'm just bursting. I'm just bursting with so much love. And I want everybody to know that it is possible. It is beyond possible. If you trust yourself to bring yourself to these places, it's inevitable. It really is. We can't fail because we don't stop. There's no such thing as failure. We just keep going. And we know we can get ourselves through literally anything. We know because we have. I mean, we take a pause and we look at our life 5 years ago, even 1 year ago. You're not the same person. You've accomplished and changed and evolved so fucking much. And you've brought yourself through all of that. And maybe you're not as far as you want to be, sure, but you are so much further than you were. And so we can love ourselves through those journeys, and we can embrace all of that of who we are and know we can bring forward anything we want. We can do anything. And so that's the love connection to me. Allowing love in your world, allowing love to come to you so that you can have so much love to overflow to others, to build that network of people who are just so connected and in love with life, to have love come through all forms, come through dollars, come through experiences, things, whatever it is, to have so in a safe, loving, beautiful experience. That is the point. We can get money, we can reconnect to our bodies, we can feel safe in every version of this experience through these steps, through finding safety in self, through finding connection, deep, loving connection, and then stepping into that very next level of self where we get to operate from brilliance and beyond. And I know that is just the most freaking exciting thing. Sari saying the frequencies flying through my nerves are beyond previous experience. I love it. I love it. That is beautiful. That is so beautiful. And so we truly have to believe that we are worth enough to put energy towards what we want to create and who we deserve to become. We have to believe that. April says, I still don't feel safe to receive. Even when I get things, I wonder the catch or how long it will last, etc. So that's the work we have to do, April. We have to look at why that is and where that's sitting in your body. Because until you feel safe to receive, you're going to keep blocking it. And most of us keep blocking it, except when it's really bad. When it's really, really bad, then we're like, okay, I'll accept it because I have to. And we got to get to the point where we can accept it even when it's not that bad. Even when we're good, even when we have enough dollars to pay for our basic needs, we can still accept love in the form of dollars. It's okay. There's more dollars for everybody. The more I show up and get to show my heart and show myself, the more I trust that more love comes to me in whatever form it desires. And so, we have to go through and find those deep wounds. And that's the point of this work. The point of this work is to get those things out so that you find that peace, that place of safety, that deep sense of trust, and allow those connections so that we can expand. And so what I want you guys to do today, if you want for homework, is to commit to doing something just for you, for the sheer joy of it, just because it would be fun, just because. Nothing that you have to, nothing you're supposed to, because you want to. How can you love yourself today? How can you trust yourself today? That's the point. Big lesson that I learned is that I have to do things for me. Everything I have to do is for me. It's not to say I don't look at everybody else and I don't give and I don't love, but I have to operate from the place that's for me, not my children. I believed for a long time that my children were going to be okay. If my children were okay, I would be okay, which meant I stayed in my marriage because I believed my children needed their father, no matter what he had done. And they were then okay if they had their father. So I would have to figure it out and I would be okay. The opposite is true. I'm okay. If I focus on me, if I'm thriving even, then my children are not only okay, but they begin to thrive because they pick it all up from me and they get to learn from me. And I have so much more filled cup to take care of them. And that's true for all of the healers and the helpers and all of that. We have to go to self first. This idea that we're going to be selfish if we take is honestly a bunch of crap. We have to put our own energy fields and our own resources first. Because once we do, and we allow ourselves to fill up, then we can help everybody else. A safe place was a bottle fashioned from my dream of genie. That's funny. So you have to start to flip this and you have to go, what do I need? Who am I? And what do I want to create deep within me? What experience am I ready to have? That's the point. Okay. Does anybody have any questions or comments or thoughts that they want to share before I talk again about how you can work with me more in another way? Does anybody have anything else they want to say? Okay, perfect. Well, the next thing I'm going to share is other ways that you can work with me, because I recognize that some of you who don't feel safe in your bodies and safe in your experiences, the idea of a group container is pretty flippin' scary. You might feel safe to work with me directly, but maybe you still don't actually feel safe to go into this with more than one person. And so I do have ways that people can work with me one-on-one. I'm going to share my screen. So I do one-on-one coaching. You can work with me in a 3 to 6 month container. If you're not a Zoom person, we can do it all over voice chat, which honestly is one of my favorites because I'm on my phone all day, every day anyway. And the other possibility is if you just want a little bit of individual healing and support, you can book just a 60-minute one-on-one healing session at your leisure. We do all of those over Zoom. So those are other ways that you can work with me directly one-on-one.